Well, you know the guy with the floppy ears, Barack Hussein Obama, who was saying, I think you really stepped in it at the annual prayer breakfast when he told the Christians that they need to get off their high horse. Get off your high horse. And what he did was he compared what's going on today with what the Christians did about 1,000 years ago. You know, the Inquisition, the Crusades. But what he sort of left out is that the rest of the world has moved on. And Islam is stuck in the year 660, when Muhammad was raping little girls, and he married his new bride who was what? She was 6, and he took her when she was what, 9? Can any normal, sane man imagine having sex with a little child? Well, in Obama's world, that's sort of normal. That appears to be the case. What's going on right now, and I've made a couple of videos on this, is ISIL. They're raping 9 and 10 and 11 and 12-year-old girls. They're selling them to old, filthy men. They're being tortured. They're being raped, and they're being killed. These are little children. Anyone that does that to a little child is obviously mentally unbalanced. Now, it's a given fact, and you can go verify this, inbreeding is a very common part of events that occur in that part of the world. And I'm sure it happens here as well, within the Muslim community, in these enclaves like Islamabad in New York. Obama, I believe, not only showed his colors, he flashed them in neon lights. Any normal person can't help but conclude, as I have a long time ago, that Barack Hussein Obama is a radical, extremist Arab Muslim. He has surrounded himself with Muslim Brotherhood members by placing them into key cabinet positions. By the way, Egypt deemed the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, yet they're peppered throughout our government. What's it going to take for the American people to say we've had enough? Are you going to wait until he has his blue shirts knocking on your front door? I cannot stand seeing him. It really troubles me that he's allowed to continue to spew his garbage from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Congress? Well, they're totally worthless. So now Obama is asking for approval from Congress, so he has more military power. Allowing Obama to have more military power is like allowing a mentally retarded child to have access to the nuclear codes, which is pretty much what we've done. There's no difference. I don't know if it's the scars on his head based on the kind of injury that he had. I don't know if he's really not capable of thought and can only read what's in front of him on the teleprompter. I'm convinced that during that prayer meeting, he read everything that he spewed out of his filthy Muslim mouth. So one has to wonder who wrote what he read, since he's not capable of clear thought. There's nothing that Obama has ever said that's benefited the American people. He benefits the illegals with his new amnesty program that was created with a memo that he said sent to the head of the Department of Homeland Security. And that memo drew hundreds of millions of dollars in support. Where's that money coming from? Well, it can only come from one place. The keeper of the purse, Speaker John Boehner. One would wonder why there wasn't a revolt that took place at that prayer meeting when Obama spewed his garbage about telling Christians to get off their high horse. Isn't that the same horse that he was riding when he was going to church with Reverend Wright? Oh no, that's a different church. That's where they spewed hatred against the whites. You know who else was a regular at that church? Oprah Winfrey. She had a front and center seat for years. Does that sort of give you an idea as to how scrambled her mind must be as well? I could go on and on and on, but what's the point? Obama's made it very clear that he is a radical, extremist, homosexual Muslim, hell-bent on destroying the American way of life. That's sort of what I think. So what do you think?